David Welday of Higher Life Publishing explains the 7 deadly myths of publishing that you must avoid.
Let's talk for a moment about what I'll call the 7 deadly myths of publishing. Unfortunately, the world is littered with disillusioned and disappointed authors. Not because their publisher ripped them off, but because oftentimes publishers don't do a great job of helping the author calibrate to what's reality, to real expectations. There are some myths out there about publishing that I'd like to start by helping you dispel them. So let's talk through these 7 myths of publishing. Myth number 1 is your book is just going to sell itself. No, it won't. The reality is just getting your book up on Amazon, granted, will expose your book to millions of people around the globe. But the problem is, it's being exposed to millions of people on a platform where there's probably 14 million other titles on there. So just because your book is available on Amazon doesn't mean anybody knows about it. So myth number 1 is don't assume that just because you make it available, anybody's going to know about it. You're going to have to work at that, and we'll help you. Myth number 2 is that people really care about your message. No, they don't. People are busy. People's lives are wrapped up in their lives, and you're going to interrupt their lives to tell them about your book. And I got news for you. Nobody cares about your book. What they do care about is how your book will help them. Will it make their life better? Will it give them more joy, more satisfaction, more insight, more success in some aspect of their lives? So don't focus your book on your book or what your book is about. Focus your book on how it will help your reader, because that's what they care about. Myth number 3 is that my job is just to write the book and somebody else is going to sell it. Again, I hate to tell you, yes, your job is to write the book, but you also need to be your book's greatest cheerleader. If you're not excited about your book, if you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and do the work to help people get to know about your book, then chances are your book is not going to take off. Even if you have a publisher, I guarantee you the largest publishers in the world look for authors who are promoters. Look for authors who already have a successful platform. So maybe you don't have a worldwide platform, but you can make up for that by being willing to put in the work to work with your publisher to help get the word out about your book. Myth number 4 is you can't judge a book by its cover. That sounds good, but the truth is, most every book is judged by its cover. So you might have brilliant things to say, but if your cover is off point, if it's immaturely or inappropriately or unprofessionally designed, if the title or the subtitle doesn't grab me, it's not going to sell as many copies. It might be brilliant gems of information on the inside, but how it looks on the outside really does matter. So make sure that you invest the time to make your publisher, your published book stellar, both in terms of how it looks and what it says. Myth number 5 is writing a book is really only for professionals. Truth is, professional writers and journalists don't always make great authors. Great authors are people who have experience and information that benefits other people. So maybe you don't see yourself as a writer, okay, but that doesn't mean you can't see yourself as an author, because your life experience, your personal experience, your information, your expertise, packaged in the form of a book, can and will make you a successful author. Myth number 6. I don't have enough to say to fill a whole book. Today, short is the new long. It used to be that publishers looked for manuscripts that were 50, 70, even 100,000 words. But these days, people have short attention spans, so you don't have to write War and Peace to get your book published. No, if you've got something to say, our team can work with you to help you develop that and unpack that into a full book length project. It doesn't have to be super thick, but it can still be effective and it can still be sold at a full book retail price. Myth number 7 is publishing a book just takes too much time and too much money. Well, I don't want to kid you. Publishing a book does take time and it does take money. But how much is too much? Some people think that, oh my gosh, it's going to take me a year to write my book. You know what? Our team could work with you to get the information we need to create a full-length book manuscript in 1 day of your time. That's it, just 1 day. So, and if you want to write it yourself, we can work with you to come up with a writing schedule to where you write a chapter a day, and if you've got a 14-chapter book in 2 weeks, your book's written. So the truth is, it does take time, but it doesn't take too much time. Let's talk about money. Again, publishing isn't cheap, it's not inexpensive, but it's not an expense, it's an investment. Consider this. Let's say you buy an inexpensive car. You buy a Hyundai, it costs you $20,000. That's a lot of money. The sad thing is, as soon as you drive that $20,000 Hyundai off the dealer showroom, it's probably only worth $16,000. Whereas, let's say you published your book and you bought 5,000 copies and they cost you $4 a book. Well, that's $20,000 too. But the difference is, if you sell that book for $15, guess what? As soon as you've sold about 1,200, 1,500 copies, you've paid yourself back. Now you don't have a single dime invested. And when you sell the other 3,800 or so copies, you can make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. So publishing does cost some money, but it's an investment that can generate revenue for you. So consider the 7 myths of publishing and how we at Higher Life can help you overcome those and fulfill your dream of becoming a published author.